Good afternoon and welcome to 365 Days of Amazing Stories with Theo Mayer. Here we are on day 164 and I'm continuing the story of the second calendar. And he's to the part where they're all in just astonishment. The calendar, the head slave, the sultan, and the midget slave, they're all watching as the genie appears out of the canal and has gained the form, his natural form, and given up the form of the pike that he was. And the princess has jumped out as well. And they're standing on either side of this canal. And interestingly, right here where I am, it's kind of cool. It's actually a golf course. But if you can see off in the distance there's waterfall, beautiful dome-like thing. And the waterfall's actually pretty big. And then off in the distance is the beautiful California mountains. So, here they are, the genie and the princess, the queen of beauty. And they begin to throw fire at each other out of their mouths. Flames, like a dragon. They're trying to burn each other. And as they do, the genie at one point turns toward the men and leaps into the air and begins to fly toward the men. And all of them, the sultan, two slaves, the calendar, all think calendar. He wasn't the calendar then, he was the prince. He wasn't even the prince, he was the monkey at that point in time. They all think they're going to lose their lives. And in the words of the calendar, as he's recounting this story, they thought they were lost. They thought they were just about to die because the genie is coming at them and with flames shooting out of his mouth. It's kind of like where I am right now. You may see bugs flitting about in front of my face because, they're all over the place. Just as the genie is about to incinerate them, the princess, somehow or another, she, with her own power, captures his attention, and the genie veers off course from destroying them. The side of the face of the sultan is scorched. His beard is burned away. The head slave completely is incinerated. And the prince, a spark flies into his right eye and destroys it. The battle goes on, the flames being shot back and forth. And eventually the princess cries out, "Victory! Victory! Victory!" At her feet laid a pile of ashes that had once been the genie. She has won. Her father gets up to embrace her, and she holds him back. She grabs some water up from the canal, and she begins to speak incantations over the water. And after she has done so, she throws the water into the face of the monkey, and she says, "If you are not a monkey, regain your natural form." And as she does so, the monkey instantly is transformed back into the prince. And the prince now is aware that he has regained his natural form, his natural shape. Of course, he's pretty relieved at this. Now, I will tell you that in the beginning, the sultan, he not only had asked the princess to lose the enchantment of the prince, he not only had offered to make the prince his grand vizier, but he wished that this prince would be the husband of his daughter. And so the sultan was excited by what was happening because he thought, here now, what a match. This incredible man who seems to be so talented and so intelligent, and my daughter who has so many things going for her that I don't even understand or know. Well, things didn't quite go as planned. The princess, she turns toward her father, just as the prince is about to get down on his knees and thank the princess for freeing him from enchantment. He is just about to do so. The princess turns to her father and says, "I have won, but I have won at a great cost. I did not mean or desire to employ fire in my defense or offense, but in so doing, not only was I able to consume the genie and destroy him, but I have destroyed myself as well. For the fire has entered my heart, and I will soon be dead." "Ah, how can this be?" cried out the Sultan, tears springing up to his eyes. "How can this be? Is there nothing that you can do?" He could not be consoled and began to sob. The princess said, "No, there is nothing. If I had only grabbed the last seed before it had entered into the water, I could have won then. But I was unable to do so. And now my death quickly approaches." The Sultan is sobbing, when his daughter, the Queen of Beauty, calls out, "I die. And the fire, having traveled to the center of her heart, she falls over dead, freed from the torment and the pain that she was feeling. The prince cannot believe what has taken place now, for he, in his heart, would have much rather remained a monkey for the rest of his days of life than to have caused the death of his benefactor. The Sultan, he was basically unapproachable for days and days. And all of his followers who loved the princess as well, they were in mourning. They wept for her, saddened by what had happened. When the Sultan eventually did regain his center, regain his balance, and go over the sadness that he felt, he turned to the prince and he said, "I must ask you to go. For every time I see you, I am reminded of my daughter. Please, I beg you, leave, and do not return for fear of your own death." The calendar, as he was telling this story, said, "What else was I supposed to do? I had to leave. I could not stay, and so I did. I went out of the town after I had shaved my head, my beard, and my eyebrows, and I set off on the road, where I met the man who told his story first. I hope now you will understand," returned to Zubaydah, "the difficulties with which I have been, with which I've gone through in order to get here to your place. For I thought, after some time wandering, that it would be best that I come to the city of Baghdad and seek the counsel of the highest, the Caliph of Baghdad." Little did he know that the Caliph was sitting right there listening to the whole thing. At this Zubaydah turned to the Third Calender, who began his story. He said, "I have not come to this place that I am in by fate, as the other two have. I have come to this place by my own means, by my own foolish decisions. I will tell you the story." And here, of course, Scheherazade stopped the story. And here, of course, the Sultan wanted to hear the rest. And so we'll leave the story here. Thanks for joining, and have a good rest of your day or evening or morning.